And I've lied about who I am and where I am. Now no one will ever find me.
What do you mean lied about who you are?
I always thought it'd be better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody.
What are you talking
Hello, my name is Carson, and welcome to the series titled A Film a Week. In this series, I will essentially pick out a film to watch and analyze every week, pick out an element or theme that stood out, and go into depth about it in a video. This week, I'll be talking about the talented Mr. Ripley and the value of identity. Now, if you don't know about this film, The Talented Mr. Ripley is a 1999 psychological thriller adapted from a 1955 book, written and directed by Anthony Minghella. The film was both well received by crowds and critics, earning nominations in 5 Academy Award categories, and Best Motion Picture in Drama at the Golden Globes. The story follows Tom Ripley, portrayed by Matt Damon. While working at a party, Tom is approached by a very wealthy shipbuilder named Herbert Greenleaf, who mistakenly believed Tom to have attended Princeton with his son, Dickie. And for $1,000, Tom is hired to go to Italy and convince Dickie to return to New York. Tom charms his way into the lives of Dickie and his girlfriend Marge. This premise eventually culminates in Tom murdering Dickie and assuming his identity. The rest of the story focuses on Tom as he must continually keep those who know him as Tom away from those who know him as Dickie, or else his plan and persona would completely unravel. This movie plays as a brilliant character study into the mind and psyche of Tom Ripley, our amoral sociopathic protagonist. And this character study helps shape one of the most important themes of the movie, identity and the value in it. How does one identify as oneself? Is identity truly what differentiates one from another? Or is this identity a great fallacy, only a social construct built to allow ourselves to feel as if we are unique, as if we have worth? Is there any true value in identity? When Tom first charms himself into Dickie's life, he is both infuriated and intrigued by Dickie and his elegant lifestyle. But this curiosity soon turns to admiration, and this admiration into obsession, a very unhealthy obsession over Dickie, over his lifestyle, over his identity. So much so he begins impersonating Dickie, putting on his clothes, his shoes, dancing around Dickie's room. It seems that Tom is only happy when he's Dickie, when he has plentiful wealth and resources. This is one way the film introduces the idea of identity and its value, by having identity directly correlating to social class. Throughout The Talented Mr. Ripley, Tom, and really all characters' self-worths, are tied to their social and economic status. This can be seen in Dickie and Tom's argument, which eventually escalates into the fight that leads to Dickie's demise.
Who are you? Huh? Some third-class mooch? Who are you? Who are you to say anything to me? Who are you to tell me anything? Actually, I really, really do not want to be on this boat with you.
Dickie sees Tom and his identity as inferior to his own, because he's better off socially and economically. Also, when Tom was first presented, he was awkward, shy, insecure, but later, by acting and impersonating as Dickie, by pretending to be a part of his rich group of friends, he gained confidence. He gained a sense of self-worth, a sense of respect. Freddie, played by the late Philip Hoffman, comments on this in the film.
You're a quick study, aren't you? The last time you didn't know your ass from your elbow, now you're giving me directions. Oh, that's not fair. You probably do know your ass from your elbow.
Identity is presented as so parallel to class that changes in socioeconomic status directly leads to changes in personality, to changes in identity. Another way the film demonstrates the struggles of identity is through Tom's acting and impersonations, and taking it to the extreme. In an essay for the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, Eric Olson writes, "Someone's personal identity in this sense consists of those properties she takes to define her as a person, or make her the person she is, and which distinguish her from others." But what happens if those properties one takes that distinguish them from others can be replicated, can be synthesized? Then wouldn't that render one's identity a counterfeit, a falsehood? Well, yes and no. When it comes to borrowing parts and pieces of identities from those he admires, Tom is a genius. He assumes traits and mirrors those individuals like Dickie. And Tom feels only as if he is truly heard when he is borrowing from his surroundings, when he is not himself. For example, Tom straight up admits to Dickie of his talents, of his manipulation techniques, but Dickie brushes it off as a joke.
Everybody should have one talent. What's yours?
Forging signatures, telling lies, impersonating practically anybody.
That's 3. Nobody should have more than one talent. Okay.
No one takes Tom seriously. No one listens to him when he is not impersonating others, when he is himself. So he continually changes himself. At some point, Tom's identity is so blended that it is no longer Tom, but Dickie. His defining characteristics are no longer Tom's, but Dickie's. This is demonstrated clearer later in the movie. After continually swapping back and forth between his and Dickie's identity, Tom finally slips up when he refers to himself as Dickie on the boat to Peter.
I lied to her. She thought she'd seen you.
Why lie?
Dickie and Peter together, that's just too good gossip.
Or Tom and Peter, even.
That would be even better gossip.
Somewhere in the midst of all of his manipulation and exploitation of others, Tom forgot who he was. He lost himself and his identity. So is the concept of crafting and shaping one's identity worthless? Is there any value in your own identity? Tom, throughout the movie, absolutely places no value in identity. It is just a tool to manipulate for Tom, just a means to an end. I believe Tom heartbreakingly learns the truth at the end of this film, however. Yes, there is value in identity, but it is not found in the characteristics that define us as a person. It is not found in the properties that make you the person you are. It is not found in the traits that distinguish us from others. The value in identity is found in those who love us, who care about us. Peter was with Tom not for social status, not for the countless characteristics Tom impersonated from others, not for Dickie, but for Tom. For Tom and his identity. When Peter starts to list things that are good about Tom Ripley, all those characteristics and traits apply to Tom, sure, but it is Peter that gives it value. It is the one who loves Tom that gives Tom's identity power, that gives it worth, which makes Tom's action that much more heartbreaking, killing the only person to ever love and understand him, killing the only person to ever value Tom, for Tom.
Peter. Tell me some good things about Tom Ripley. No, don't get up, don't get up. Don't get up. Just tell me some nice things about Tom Ripley.
Good things about Tom Ripley. That could take me some time. Tom is talented. Tom is tender. Tom is beautiful.
You're such a liar.
Tom is a mystery. Tom is not a nobody. Tom has secrets he doesn't want to tell me. And I wish he would. Tom has nightmares. That's not a good thing. Tom has someone to love him. That is a good thing. Tom is crushing me. Tom is crushing me. Tom, you're crazy.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of A Film a Week. If you like this content and want to see more of it, hit that subscribe button down below and hit that like button. You could also leave a comment about a movie you would like me to watch and analyze. If you didn't like this content, please leave a very mean comment down below about how me and my family should die very gruesome deaths. But anyways, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch it, and have a great rest of the day.